My sister claimed my business success as her own, and demanded 27% profit, but I dropped the receipts and her smiles shattered instantly. Everything about that Sunday dinner was meant to dazzle, every flower arranged, every smile rehearsed. Yet even before I noticed the envelope beside my father's plate, I caught the sneaky twinkle in Emily's eyes, the same one she'd had since we were kids, as she practically buzzed with excitement. "I am elated that you made it, Monica." With an unusually insistent hand on my back, Mom leads me to the dining room, where Sunday food is waiting. The table is very lovely, as expected. Featuring fresh flowers as the centerpiece, Mom's finest china, and the crystal glasses that are reserved for special occasions. Whatever it is, they've certainly put a lot of thought into it. Emily, whose smile brings back a memory of the time she was 8 years old, and saw that I was going to walk on the whoopee cushion she had hidden under my chair cushion, is seated across from me as usual. My dad expertly carves the roast beef as Mom serves the sides of mashed potatoes, green beans, and those Parker House rolls that have been a favorite of mine since I was a kid. At that moment, I notice it. Perched just beneath Dad's napkin, a manila envelope lies nestled next to his plate. My gut feels constricted. The health center is doing well, right? "Mom?" she asks, her voice made to sound more lively. "Are you still putting in those insane hours?" Commerce is brisk. As I observe Dad's rapid eye movement toward the folder, I opt for a straightforward response. "This quarter, we saw a 22% rise in our patient load." Emily gives a little snort. "There were so many people in the waiting area, but it was so little. Your workplace management may use an improvement, seriously." In my mind, everything fits together. Something I'd rather not figure out. After clearing his throat, Dad sets his fork down on the exquisite china with a deliberate clink. "Our thoughts have been with your clinic's future, Monica." As the meal turns to pulp in my mouth, I stop biting in the middle. Mom steps in with ease, as if they've practiced this. "My darling, family companies require family leadership. Your dad and I have been talking about ways to ensure the continued practice of healing hands within your family. I say this with great care. It is not a family business. I put it together by myself with our help," Dad says, his hand slipping to the folder. "On top of that, Emily has come up with a fantastic proposition that will be good for everyone." With an attitude of near preening, my sister straightens herself in her chair. "In order to take over as manager of your practice, I have devised a strategy. I'd take care of the tedious paperwork so you can concentrate on the patients." Leaning forward, her eyes sparkle. "Considering all the growth I'll bring, my request for a 27% profit share is really realistic." My ears are ringing with my heartbeat. This is no ordinary Sunday feast, it's a trap. Unexpected flashbacks ensue. Working 2 shifts in the hospital cafeteria while I was a physical therapist student allowed me to send money home to support Emily while she navigated her first year of college, and I survived on ramen in a tiny apartment furnished with items I found on the curb. After 14 hours of clinical rotations, students spend the night studying. I still have $193,000 in school loans, and they take money out of my bank account every month. Surprisingly, I mention that I already have a clinic manager. Emily, in contrast to Mom's condescending wave of the hand, is an actual people person. "Do you recall how she wowed Dr. Patel during the grand launch of your clinic? He paid you hardly any mind at all." The details are fresh in my mind. Similar to how I recall my dad denying me my academic awards upon my graduation. Practices are not built on book smarts. "Monica, we were taking pictures of Emily in our matching gowns and caps. During the summer of 2016, Emily worked as a temporary front desk assistant, which led to her sorority sisters receiving illicit discounts. After her scheduling blunders caused some patients to have to wait hours or even be turned away, I spent weeks apologizing to them. Is it possible for me to view your plans?" "Yes, I do," gesturing toward the file cabinet. With a pleased grin on his face, Dad slides it across the table. "My attorney has already drafted it. Completely need your assent." "Yes, Maybe tomorrow would be a good day to begin." Emily gives a loud clap. "If you want me to redecorate your office, I have ideas already." After taking a slow drink of water, I carefully place the glass back on its coaster. I carefully retrieve my own briefcase that is propped up next to my chair. "I think you should view this before we continue talking about it." I hear a click that sounds like a gunshot as I unlock my briefcase in the ensuing weighted quiet. I take out a leather portfolio, the pricey one I treated myself to after signing a deal with Denver Sports Medicine, and my father's self-assured smile wavers. The portfolio serves as a subtle reminder of the accomplishments I've had without their assistance. Identify this. A man habituated to surprises, has a little tremble in Dad's voice. As she nervously looks between her husband and Emily, Mom fidgets with her napkin and her fingers. Emily's formerly victorious smile starts to fade as I meticulously set out my paperwork on the table, matching each piece with the exactitude I apply to my patients' treatment programs. My deal with Colorado Healthcare Partners for management services was inked 4 weeks ago. On the top page of the letterhead, their corporate emblem sprawls, and I touch it. They will be in charge of any future administrative tasks related to mending hands. With a wrinkled brow, Dad reaches for the papers. In order to make a choice like this, you must involve your loved ones. Sure, I can. To his attention, I slip another document. For your convenience, I have highlighted section 4.3. The board must agree unanimously before any member of the family can hold a managerial role. Myself and 2 associates from CHP make up the board. Seek for my assistance with Delatine and inform him. Emily gets a red flush. This was deliberate on your part. A business decision was mine to make. For one thing, I've learned from past mistakes and can't tear my gaze away from my sister. I retrieve a folder from my portfolio that contains the patient complaint forms, which are all neatly filed according to the date. You worked at the clinic last summer, therefore these are from that time. The thickness tells me all I need to know. 2 patients ended up in the same treatment room because of 15 scheduling mistakes. The sorority sisters received 8 of the 24 unlawful discounts. A near insurance audit was almost triggered by 31 billing code errors. My mom's fingers hovered dangerously close to touching mine as she extended across the table. Monica, my darling, it's normal to mess up when you're learning. There was no room for error in this regard. I slowly get to my feet, discovering an unanticipated strength in dominating my seated relatives. Someone who believed the rules didn't apply to her committed these reckless mistakes. This one was also prepared by my accountant, and I am withdrawing it. Detailed here are the 4 years' worth of complimentary medical care that one family received, totaling $46,000. Dad's rotator cuff therapy. The plantar fasciitis that my mother suffered from. Prior to her beach holidays, Emily gets sports massages. Shock and stillness wash over you like a wave of approval. Their expressions change from a sense of entitlement to one of uneasy disbelief. I was paying off my student loans while eating ramen noodles, so I covered your healthcare requirements. For Emily's first year of college, I put in extra shifts at the hospital cafeteria. I met my father's gaze when you indicated that our educations couldn't be funded at the same time. When I couldn't afford rent or malpractice insurance, I slept on treatment tables. Someone has texted me. I look down and notice a message from my clinic manager. Are they still in the dark? The timing is perfect. Now I know I'm not in this alone. In the midst of Emily's wild summer, my employees stayed up late to correct her errors as she shared Instagram photographs from rooftop parties. The dynamics of the Hale family are known to them. When I think back on my mentor's warning that family and business don't get along, it's like oil and water. After Dad was unable to attend my clinic's grand opening, Sato noticed that I was sobbing in the supply closet and gave me a worried look. My delay in listening was intentional. I meticulously assemble all of my documents and return them to my portfolio in the exact sequence that will be required in the event that this conversation takes a turn for the worse. Similar to how I find that deliberate movement helps me relax before a challenging patient session when I am organizing treatment supplies, here we may discuss the details. The authoritative tone that Dad used to have in his voice is now more reminiscent of the way he sounds when a business deal is about to fall through. 22% for the trial period rather than 25%. My portfolio is quickly closed. Your money isn't my livelihood, it's my clinic. Over the years of family disputes, Mom has perfected the theatrical motion of flying her palm to her throat. I never thought you'd put business before family, she whispers. The statement dangles in the air, exposing their flawed viewpoint. They believe that my achievements are for their own good. Their chance, not my accomplishment, is symbolized by my clinic. Business will not take precedence over family for me. My voice is more composed than my emotions when I respond. I'm creating limits before taking advantage of anyone. Emily reclines away from the table, causing her chair to scuff the wooden floor. Even though we've always been here to help you, Monica, you've always acted so dramatic, as if you were responsible for everything. Helped me out? What gives me the willies is an eyebrow lift. For what time frame is this scheduled? Did my dad take pictures of you wearing my cap and gown? When I graduated. When did Mom inform the doctor? Patel, I was merely the on-site doctor when my clinic first opened. The recollections rise to the surface like water bubbles, abrupt, harsh, and unstoppable once they begin to rise. Do you recall receiving a card and a new bicycle for my 13th birthday, while Emily got a present? Or the valedictory ceremony I had in high school, when no one from my family could make it because Emily was sick with a cold? Snapping my briefcase shut, I go. When it really counted, your support was noticeably non-existent. My father is also standing now. He used to be quite towering over me when I was a kid. But now he's just tall. Monica, you've evolved. You are now icy dew of your success. No, I look him straight in the eyes. You have no idea what to do with a daughter who demands attention, and my success has made me public. Considering the amount of weight I've carried for so long, I'm taken aback by how light my briefcase seems when I raise it off the chair. I inhale deeply without experiencing chest pain for the first time since entering their home. I'll take care of myself. As I pause, I shift my attention to the door. By the way, our usual charges will apply to family treatments beginning next month. People who would rather not pay are not eligible for our charity program. It is for people who truly cannot afford medical treatment. From behind me, I can make out my mom's startled gasp, Dad's mumbled expletive, and Emily's dramatic sob. However, I am relieved that their reactions have not resorted to the tried and true tactic of compromising once again. My phone beeps again as I step out into the evening air. This time it's my clinic manager. You can count on our support. This is the first time that I have ever believed it. Recollections flooded back that evening in my apartment. My 13th birthday is on an April Tuesday, and it's not much to celebrate other than the fact that I aced my arithmetic test and had one card propped up against my cereal bowl first thing in the morning. After 2 weeks, Emily gets a shiny teal bike with streamers on the handlebars, and a wicker basket to hold all the treasures she finds around town for her 11th birthday. While our parents applaud her every shaky loop around the driveway, I stand on our front porch and watch. Shoot a photo of your sister, Monica. Dad, I need your help with this, he says, hands me his camera. Something has been accomplished. I tilt the viewfinder to catch a glimpse of Emily's radiant face, her locks reflecting the sunshine as her dad steadies the bike seat. In a royal manner, Mom waves a handkerchief as she bids farewell. I still have the receipt for my first bike. After I've helped Mom with the dishes and saw that the kitchen table is still covered in birthday cake crumbs, I inquire. She stops, her sponge dangling. Monica, you were really a down-to-earth kid. Books were always more appealing to you. Oh, I didn't. I had been obsessively perusing bike catalogs for the past 4 years. After finishing high school, a student can attend Colorado State University on a full scholarship, receive a science medal, and be named valedictorian. Parents cradling bouquets and cameras fill the theater. Mine showed about 7 minutes after I spoke, and they slid into the seats in the back as I went back to mine. There was horrendous traffic. After they go without taking anything, Mom whispers to me. However, tonight is Emily's dance recital, and we will be present. Will you be there? Throughout college, the pattern manifests itself. Despite working 2 shifts at the hospital cafeteria, I am still waiting for my Dean's List credentials to come at our family home. For weeks, the sealed envelopes sit on the kitchen counter. At last, the day has come for me to stand alone following the physical therapy school commencement ceremony while Emily sends a wave across the quad. You have it. Her hand snatches my mortarboard. Papa wants me to wear this in several photos. I assume it's okay with you? For 20 minutes I stand by while my parents pose my sister for a photo with my prized cap, honor cords, and diploma case in my possession. Book smarts don't build practices, Monica, my dad says later as he returns my cap, avoiding eye contact with me. At midnight, 4 years after graduating, with only the light from my office lamp to illuminate the clinic, I am slouched over my laptop. My rent is more than the monthly payment on the $193,000 worth of debt that stares at me from the computer screen. In the meantime, I've sent $1,200 to Emily to help with her housing situation, as she adjusts to her 4th job in 2 years. Even after numerous cleanings, my apartment is still cluttered with random finds from the side of the road, an uneven-legged coffee table, and a sofa that still manages to retain a faint aroma of its former owners. The deserted medical facility is filled with the screech of my stomach. From our meeting that morning, the sound of the bank manager's voice echoes in my head. Miss Hale, we are unable to grant this loan for company expansion at this time without additional collateral or a cosigner. My parents declined to co-sign, but they bought Emily a new car a month ago, so she has reliable transportation for interviews, so I nodded courteously and put the rejection letter in my suitcase with the others. That night, I slept on the treatment table. After spending 16 hours crammed into consecutive appointments and insurance paperwork, I roll onto the paper-covered plastic and wrap myself in a patient blanket. In the wee hours of the morning, still clinging to spreadsheets, the cleaning staff discovers me there. In the interim between Emily's bridal shower and their dinner reservation, my parents drop by for 15 minutes when Healing Hands Physical Therapy officially opens in its own facility. Not merely a leased room in someone else's clinic, 6 months later. According to Mom, who glances at her watch, it's just like being at a genuine doctor's office. My father examines the certificates I've framed. Always focus on the people, not the credentials. They depart before the brief reception starts, ruining my 4-person staff's champagne toast and the photo op for the local business journal that would have been taken after the ribbon cutting. For Emily, the summer job she takes assisting at the front desk turns out to be her worst nightmare. Her regular patients have their appointments postponed or canceled, while her sorority sisters get illegal discounts. In the middle of the night, I unearth a stack of unprocessed insurance forms packed inside desk drawers. If you ask Emily, she'll tell you that they were really dull. Also, they're basically elderly folks collecting Medicare. They aren't need to be any place significant. In the weeks following her departure, I personally contact each impacted patient to re-establish trust by apologizing to them one by one. The pivotal moment occurs in the middle of an impromptu meeting with the regional provider representative from Blue Shield. All 4 of our prior claims filings were denied by the severe-looking woman opposite my desk. I interrupt Ms. Hale's prepared rejection by sliding a folder across the desk and say, "Your documentation just doesn't meet our standards for." Here are the updated protocols that I created using your guidelines in mind. Every treatment code has been verified by comparing it to your most recent manual. As she flips through the pages, her eyebrows arch in surprise. "Were you the one to do this?" For a duration of 4 weeks each night. She is direct in her evaluation. Providers typically just dispute or quit. After a span of 4 days, the insurance company has finally approved all of our outstanding claims. As word gets out about our outstanding documentation and results, we see an uptick in physician referrals within a few months. After 2 exhausting years, the first month of profit comes. There was this one late night when I stared at the accounting software, double-checking the figures 4 times before I finally believed them. For once, the emptiness doesn't feel like rejection, but rather power. Even though no one is present to share in my joy. While I'm locking up that night, a deep realization hits me. I am now superhumanly invisible. In the background, I accomplished something significant, while my family admired Emily for her charisma and extensive social circle. My expanding business is based on the abilities I honed over years of self-sufficiency, tenacity, accuracy, and smart thinking. The fact that my clinic manager, Tessa Quinn, turned down a far higher-paying job offer from a hospital to remain in the field of healing hands demonstrates this argument. She tells me, tore up the offer letter in her hand, that they don't appreciate people the way you do. "I've been a healthcare professional for 32 years, Monica. This thing you're making is unique. No one on my team ever complains about staying late to get pizza and tackle the backlog when Emily's scheduling catastrophes cause mayhem. We can handle this." Just before midnight, my primary therapist, Matteo, gives me some reassurance. "We're a team, and the fact that you're sisters is intriguing." At the outset of our weekly staff meeting, which takes place first thing on Friday morning, everyone presents their successes and failures from the previous week. Having a say is important. Unlike at family events, where I was often interrupted or ignored, the cleaning crew actually listened to me. On a typical Tuesday afternoon, the medical director of Denver Rehabilitation Center calls. "Your results data has been under our observation," she says. To me, 2,000 people, without elaboration. A cooperation for specialized treatment is something our orthopedic department is interested in discussing. Not to reschedule an urgent appointment, but to celebrate, we all congregate in the after-hours clinic that evening. There are now 9 of us, up from 4 before, and we're all toasting with plastic glasses and store-bought cake. Monica, who saw potential where others saw only constraints, is the one to whom Tessa addresses her call. After everyone has gone, I take my first business license out of its frame and delicately lift it, using my fingertips to trace the embossed mark. It will be re-hung in the larger welcome area tomorrow by myself. A gentle reminder that taking the low road can occasionally lead to unexpected rewards. The incident happened 6 weeks ago, and now I work in a corner office with a view of the Denver skyline. However, I've turned my desk so that it faces the treatment floor. Blake is showing Mrs. Klein the exercises she should do after a stroke through the glass wall. My family has never grasped the concept of healing, but Blake's patience reflects my own goals with each patient. It is not a coincidence that our cutting-edge treatment spaces stand in stark contrast to my humble office. Although patients should have access to state-of-the-art technology, I've discovered that a used desk and a plain chair will do the trick just fine. We reinvest every dollar saved in areas where it matters. After last month's expansion from 4 to 16 treatment rooms, I reattached the original Healing Hands therapy sign to my wall. My phone has vibrated 4 times today, each time connecting me to a group of 16 therapists who believe in patient-first treatment as much as I do. Once again, I ignore the message and turn off the phone. Mom. It will be the same as the ones yesterday and the day before. A simple, hello, followed by a hint about Emily's current job situation or an inquiry about how the clinic runs. After I turned down their dinner invites for 7 weeks in a row, they started calling me more frequently. We never see you anymore, and Mom goes through phases of remorse and phony business interests. Do you plan to provide discounts to neighborhoods that primarily consist of seniors? Thank goodness I called ahead of time to explain the situation, because last week my dad tried to reach out to my accountant personally. The last straw was yesterday, when Emily showed in, unannounced during our busiest afternoon, brandishing a folder full of fantastic marketing ideas that, for some reason, necessitated her full-time job to execute. After offering her a seat in the waiting area and promptly calling me, my front desk manager Evan adhered strictly to protocol. I remained fully engaged in my patient session. My face is warmed by the afternoon light as I open my laptop and read the 14th draft of the email I've written, deleted, and revised. It is measured at exact and crucial. As I have already mentioned to you, my family, I am setting professional boundaries about Healing Hands therapy after much thought and consideration. Management and family members are still not allowed to work at the clinic. Regular fees will be charged for all therapeutic services. Only members of my management team are privy to our business conversations. I am still available to mending fences with you in a personal capacity, apart from our business connection. As the door to my office opens, Monica, I keep my finger on the send button. 2 piping hot cups are brought out by Juno, who is the manager of my clinic. I was thinking you might need some extra help, she says, setting a coffee cup next to my laptop. The post on social media caught my eye. What gives me the willies is an eyebrow lift. Across my desk, Juno slides her phone. You may get a snapshot from the first day of my clinic's operation 4 years ago on my mom's Facebook page. I now see that Mom's unusual display of apparent support, standing by my side with her arm around my shoulder, was staged. I am quite pleased with Monica's plans for Healing Hands therapy. We've always had faith in her ability to mend wounds. A devoted mother, a family enterprise. It was posted 20 minutes ago, according to the timestamp. I find the hashtag interesting, Juno says with care. The words family business are unpleasant to hear. The email is sent. They didn't put in a dime, didn't put in an hour, and didn't think this clinic would function until it did. The Discord is being noticed by the community, according to Juno. In his referral of the complicated shoulder case last week, Dr. Ahmed brought it up. Then I glance up in shock. The reason you built something real, not something handed down or bestowed, is why he always sends patients here, he said. Juno uses the first frame of my company license. He complimented your teamwork and humility, rather than your ostentatious resume. I remembered last Friday's staff meeting, where I said that the team's hard work, not my personal vision, was the reason for our success. It reminds me, I remark, opening up another email, that I saw Emily's friend Daphne in the waiting area during the meeting, with her phone strangely oriented toward our gathering. Everything is set for the scholarship fund. 4 students who have shown financial need and are pursuing physical therapy will get help beginning next semester. A grin spreads across Juno's face. The moment your mom overheard us talking about it, she branded it a wasteful charity. That is precisely why it is significant. My weary muscles are stretched when I rise up. Has the accountant provided any updates on their most recent inquiry? First he used charm, and then he threatened you. Eventually she departed after Diana brought up the possibility of harassment charges. Juno's face changes. Another thing is there. Her hand reaches into her pocket and retrieves a note. During lunch, your mom dropped by. After I told her you were at the pediatric clinic, she walked away. Along with my name, the envelope also bears my mother's flawless cursive. On the inside, smeared with tears, are heartfelt appeals regarding strained relationships within the family and the need for my daughter. In order to mend broken relationships, the last phrase asks for a family gathering at their place. Without a doubt, according to their specifications. A text message from Emily rings on my phone. Farewell, big sister. Shall we strike up a conversation? No one else? Juno observes while I analyze these most recent maneuvers. The letter from your dad also came in yesterday's mail, stiff and stuffy. proposing family mediation in the presence of his lawyer. When I laugh, it's not funny. Now things are going backwards. Concerned friends of theirs are inquiring. People in the community have noticed that their statements don't match up with what's happening. Peering out the window, I observe 4 therapists, all of whom I recruited from marginalized communities, providing excellent patient care with the empathy and competence I had hoped for our practice. Our extended treatment floor, which I envisioned, labored on, and persisted in constructing despite years of family rejection, is bathed in the afternoon sun. So, what's the plan? The question is posed by Juno. Along with other deceptive family messages that I have carefully recorded, I file the note away in my desk drawer. I tell them I'll listen when they're ready for a relationship that doesn't base its success on taking advantage of me. Up till then, safeguarding my creations is my top concern. One of Emily's sorority sisters who took advantage of unapproved discounts last year is standing in the waiting area outside my office, and I recognize her. She used to be entitled, but now she waits calmly with her insurance card in hand and an attitude of respect. The exterior is disintegrating. At last, after waiting 2 weeks, I get to Cornerstone Cafe 25 minutes early in the morning, when the aroma of freshly brewed coffee and hope fills the air. I have selected a neutral battlefield location with a moderate level of background noise to provide privacy without sacrificing isolation. I find a corner table where I can see both entries clearly and sit down on the chair that faces the door. Repetitive actions stemming from a lifetime of observing their approval. With its comforting weight, I set my leather portfolio on its stand before me. Included are all of the documents that attest to our intertwined past, including emails, texts, and financial records. Evidence gathered with the same meticulous attention to detail that I provide to the treatment plans of my patients, and not out of malice. While you wait, would you like me to grab something? Smiling from ear to ear, the barista comes over, notepad at the ready. I would prefer my coffee black, please. Contrary to how I really feel, my voice comes across as more reliable. Just a few moments after that, the porcelain mug shows up, with steam rising just like the stress in my chest. I can see them leaving the parking lot as I look out the window. Emily's self-assured stride was undermined by her anxious looks at our parents, while Dad's shoulders were square under his golf polo, and Mom was fidgeting with her pearl necklace. To present a unified appearance, they have coordinated their attire in cream and brown tones. They enter, and the bell atop the door rings. Their emotions change subtly the second they see me. Uncle Joe's jaw clenches. Mum's grin goes paralyzed. Emily looks at the portfolio in front of me with narrowed eyes. My darling Monica. I stay seated and make Mom awkwardly pat my shoulder instead of hugging me. Feels like home. We would have preferred dinner at home, my dad says as he settles into the chair across from me. Private conversations about family problems are appropriate. This goes beyond a personal issue. The portfolio receives a tap from my finger. This is about the company I run. Emily settles into the chair next to Dad, her scent mingling with the aroma of coffee. Muffins from that bakery you love are here with us. A paper bag is pushed toward me by her, but I avoid touching it. Due to a lack of experience, a waitress comes, takes their order, and then vanishes. Upon her departure, Dad immediately leans forward, his hands resting on the table. Monica, you are walking a fine line. When I go over my 18-year-old curfew, his voice goes back to the forceful tone he used. In business, family stands together more than any other group. My mom gives me a squeeze on the wrist. My darling, we have always been very proud of you. My dad and I brag about our amazing daughter, the doctor, to everyone we meet. Like a physical therapist, I fix things without thinking. Emily adds with startling precision that she is a doctor of physical therapy, just before she begins her prepared speech. By the way, I've revised my idea because reflecting on our previous discussion has made me understand that I was too forceful. Out of her purse, she pulls a sleek tablet. A partnership based on advice rather than management. Improve social media presence, reach out to corporate clients 4 days a week. I sip my coffee slowly, allowing its bitter warmth to strengthen me. Something is important for you to know before we talk about any suggestions. At their anniversary celebration last weekend, the Carters posed me a thought-provoking question. All 4 of us tense up whenever our relatives' names are brought up. They were really supportive of my family partnership, and wanted to know when you would all be starting work here. Upon opening the portfolio, I beheld a meticulously structured assortment of papers. When I explained that you two weren't business partners, they were taken aback. Flush goes Dad's cheeks. No one ever mentioned it. You mentioned our clinic and the family practice in your Facebook posts, and I have screenshots of those. With your mother's mention of the family business at Bridge Club, I pass him the printed pages and the text messages from the Patels, who are inquiring about it. Moaning mom's face turns white. Excitement is all it is, Monica. Would that be so? Another document has been withdrawn. Hi. I'm Doctor. In his email, Ahmed questioned his father's motivations for approaching him regarding potential clinic partnerships. The only sounds breaking the eerie stillness are the faint hum of espresso machines and the mutterings of people at adjacent tables. You've been keeping tabs on us. There's an air of betrayal in Emily's voice, as if I were the one who broke trust. I have been carefully observing. I keep staring at her eyes. While you were promoting free treatments to your sorority sisters, I was busy developing my practice. Dad tries to take charge of the discussion. We're losing our way. We've come to talk about Emily's part. My clinic will not employ Emily in any capacity. The sentences are spoken with an assurance that even I find surprising. You and your mom will not either. Dear Monica, my mother flies her hand to her throat. Given all that we have accomplished on your behalf, all of your actions, a spreadsheet is pulled out of my portfolio. I have given this family a laundry list of complimentary treatments for the past 4 years. Estimated market value, $47,210. During my first 2 years in practice, when I was barely making ends meet, I loaned Emily the money you see here. Not yet paid, $17,900. Emily's expression is twisted. Those were gifts, you stated. I promised we would sort things out later. Later on. For the very first time, Dad lets his businessman mask go. After all we've gone through, you have no right to seek compensation. What have you got to lose? His words were abruptly interrupted by me. The voice is low yet resolute. After you failed to attend Emily's sorority fundraiser, which was my PhD hooding ceremony, you informed the doctor thereafter. Before I met my husband, Patel, I was just dabbling in business. Following your dismissal of my clinic opening as merely another career opportunity. As I examine my reflection, I lay my hands flat on the table. Regarding any potential future relationships, these are my terms. First, no one else has any say in the matters of my company. No feedback, no recommendations, and zero interaction with my coworkers. Second, the regular rates will apply to any treatments for family members. Thirdly, you are no longer to be called partners or owners of my company. Mom's forced calmness falls apart. Her usual performance dip had given way to actual tears welling up in her eyes. You can't mean this, she whispers. We are related. As far as I'm concerned, family members do not cross borderlines. Rather of attempting to claim them, family members celebrate successes. A look of exasperation crosses Dad's face. Something is really wrong with this. Your ability to achieve success on your own was never in our minds. Your future was our goal in assisting you. His admission of the truth comes out so effortlessly that he doesn't appear to be aware of it. Despite everything I've done and sacrificed over the years, they still don't believe in me. Completely, Emily's painstakingly made mask falls. The way she puts it, it's unfair. Why don't you have the respect, the posh title, and the business? Where am I? While you shine in your cherished clinic, I'm cooped up in my cubicle. There it is. The unfiltered jealousy hiding behind the trickery and the animosity hiding behind the charisma. With a firm snap, I close my portfolio and go to my feet. While providing emotional and financial support to this family, I am able to build everything that I have. I am sick and tired of being invisible and not playing any games. Thank you. After finishing my coffee, I put the exact amount on the table and go. I remain focused on the path ahead, ignoring the sounds of my parents sobbing, my father's furious whisper to Emily, and the scrapping of chairs. This is the first time I've ever done anything without first asking for their approval. With every stride, I release the burden of their expectations, and I emerge from the shadows stronger than before. I stand at the picture window of my extended clinic, observing the golden accents painted across the Denver skyline by the afternoon light. It's been 2 years since that tragic Sunday supper, and the change I've experienced on the inside is reflected in the scenery. My 4 o'clock is prepared, Dr. Hale. With a clipboard in hand, Jade, my primary therapist, materializes by my side. The session is Mrs. Whitaker's last. Apt timing. I let out a heartfelt grin as real warmth courses through my chest. Compared to the claustrophobic area where I started, the waiting room is a hive of activity. On the wall now hang my original business license and framed community service awards. Patients relax in comfy recliners beneath them. As proof of our stellar reputation, we have a 2-month waiting list for new patients. Dear Mrs., as I step into the treatment room, Whitaker, an old woman with sparkling eyes and a bent spine from years of labor, smiles broadly. Yes, that's her. She makes her announcement to the miracle worker, but no one else. Putting her chart aside, I chuckle. Keeping up with the at-home workouts was the key to success. Nuts, she says, waving a beaten hand. Even though he studies everything, my grandson claims you're the greatest in Denver. I see myself reflected in the therapy room mirror as I lead Mrs. Whitaker through her last stretches. My stance has relaxed from its previous defensiveness and hunched shoulders. Now that I know my value, I can stand straighter. 4 recent grads will be joining my mentorship program shortly. As a group, they huddle around the conference table, their expressions reflecting the same dogged persistence that got me through those late-night study sessions. A method isn't the most crucial item I can impart to you. Knowing your worth is what it is to perch on the edge of the table, I tell them. You will always be giving in this line of work. Get someone to appreciate what you're offering them. As soon as they depart, I go over the most recent numbers for our free program that helps underprivileged people. Even though I was terrified by the initiative's 18% share of our practice last year, it now gives me purpose. Friend and head of our professional women's support group, Naomi, has texted me, and my phone is ringing. Good to go for tonight? So now it's your chance to speak. Some butterflies in my tummy are twirling nervously. Tonight is the first night I will openly discuss my entire experience, including the challenges I've faced at home. I am both frightened and freed by the concept. I always make sure to check my personal email before I go. This is Mom's 3rd communication to me this week using non-demanding content, and it features photographs of her volunteer work at the community garden. Gradual but sincere progress. On the sender list, Dad's name is still missing. Different wounds heal at different rates. Emily has announced her first employment in a corporate office unrelated to my clinic in a separate email. Subtly indicating her increasing autonomy, the message is devoid of her customary use of exclamation points. As I make my way to Naomi's house for our monthly supper, the sun sets casting deep shadows. The stuffy formality of my parents' dining room is in stark contrast to the lively, genuine conversation happening here. With laughter as a balm for the soul, my chosen family of co-workers and friends passes the mashed potatoes family style. Jade lifts her glass to Monica. Standing firm isn't egocentric, it's essential. Who said that? The specialist vestibular rehabilitation program we're launching tomorrow, the boundary setting workshop I'll be leading next month, and the scholarship I've established for physical therapy students from disadvantaged backgrounds are all on my mind as the applause goes around the table. As soon as we finish eating, I go out onto Naomi's back porch. Like the boundaries I've learned to uphold, the mountains stand majestically against the horizon, unwavering and unchangeable. You look so calm, Naomi remarks as she comes over to join me. I take deep breaths, and I am. I have come to the realization that I can bring healing to my patients without putting my own life on the line. The same kindness that I used to show to relatives who stole from us without asking will be bestowed onto an old man tomorrow. The key difference is that when he thanks me, he looks me in the eye, and I know he's noticed. This is Monica Hale. Whispering to the mountains, I cure those who are willing to pay for my services.